Hi, I'm Frederick Fries. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at UXV Technologies. I'm standing at the booth of the Public Safety Department of Texas together with Jason Day. We are here to talk a bit about how the trends right now are in terms of different technologies being utilized within the UAV ecosystem. What we are right now also talking about is the integration of different systems in terms of both communication and ground control stations. What I have here is UXV Technologies ground control station, where we have a SRM ecosystem, meaning that Jason and his colleagues can utilize different types of radios, being Doodle Labs, Trellisware, Precision Systems, Sylvius, and thereby adapting to different kind of mission profiles. Jason, what are you seeing right now in terms of trend for utilizing drones in your department?
Yeah, so we're really getting into a new world. Right now, everybody is living in a space where it's one drone, one pilot, one mission. And that, especially for us in Texas, where we conduct so many different operations in a very large state and covering all of the border, that model's not very scalable. Does not allow us to cover large areas with very few pilots. We have to get past all of that, right? The next trend in all of this is both remote operations, drone in a box, but allowing one pilot to operate multiple aircraft. And to be able to do that, you have to have systems that are flexible, that don't interfere, that have multiple radio options, and that don't lock you down to necessarily one ecosystem, right? Where you can operate multiple aircraft that are doing different missions from one pilot in maybe a remote location. Along the border, for example, we would have a whole bunch of drone in a box everywhere, but it's a 1,200 mile border. That's a lot of drones in a box. So we're doing projects even in Austin right now along the 130 corridor, where maybe we get away from each individual public safety agency own all the equipment, but we share the resources. So public safety drone as a service versus one pilot, one drone. So any of these kind of ways that we can collaborate, work with our other partners to reduce the burden on individual labor, but the cost for public safety is extremely invaluable.
I mean, you're making a really good point in terms of how we now are having different use cases where the drone can be a force multiplier in terms of getting the mission done more efficient, faster, and reducing risk. It means that also, as we see it, that training need will be decreased. So the training will always be central to the user, because then we can deploy it faster.
That's super important, especially when you're talking about training, right? If there's not one perfect drone out there that does every kind of mission. Sometimes you're flying indoor because you have a barricaded subject. Sometimes you're doing a crash reconstruction. Sometimes you're doing ISR and you've got a heavier, larger aircraft up in the air. But it's very labor intensive to have to teach all of those different controllers and software platforms and all the different pieces, where you want the flexibility to be able to fly all those aircraft, but again, have it in one simple way that it scales across your entire fleet. For somebody like us that has 360 aircraft, that is vital. And it allows us to teach all of our pilots on all of the systems, not just everybody being a specialized discipline.
As I see it here at Exponential 2024, is that also on the software side, with AI capabilities increasing, with being an enabler for also sensor systems, we are really, broadening the horizon on different use cases.
The AI stuff it's so important. That is what's going to enable your model of one pilot operating multiple aircraft, because they can't look at all of them. And we tell all of our pilots when they come in for training, we tell them all the same thing. The first 5 minutes of a public safety UAS mission is fun and sexy. The rest of the time, it's work, right? And what happens is you're out there flying. Now that we've got aircraft that fly 30, 40, 50 minutes, it gets really boring really fast. And now your phone goes off and you're texting your significant other, or you're answering an email, and now you're not focused on what the drone is doing, right? Because it's just sitting there, it's looking at a target location or whatever. But having the AI be programmable, where you have triggers, right? I'm looking for a boat crossing the water. I'm looking for, somebody coming into this area. I'm looking for search and rescue. Guy was wearing a red shirt. and the AI can you can give them those triggers, and then it alerts the pilot. It reduces complacency, it makes the airspace safer, and ultimately it makes the mission way more efficient.
Yeah, it's a good point. And what we're also seeing is that, of course, new companies are entering this market on drones or robotics, and as a public agency, it's also important that there's this close collaboration with industry, and also industry being able to give the feedback that we sometimes get before the public agencies, because we get it directly from the users. And it's just exciting to have you at the Department of Public Safety, Texas, having so many aircraft deployed, because you're really getting the experience firsthand, and in the frontier of using these systems. And they will probably be adopted by other states in the future, but you're really doing a great job. So
yeah, we appreciate that.
thank you, Jason, for taking the time. Thank you.
Great to see you.